In 2023, we saw thousands, in fact, tens of thousands of mum and dad retail investors lose billions of dollars in thinking they had found the next Tesla, that Lucid would be the next Tesla, that Fisker would be the next Tesla, that some of these Chinese EV companies would be the next Tesla. Now, my warning here is there is no next Tesla. You need to read this story. We need to understand the ramifications of what exactly has just happened in China, how this will affect the entire automotive industry. We will see bankruptcies all over the place this year. Car companies, even including potentially companies like Mazda and Nissan, could follow suit within the next few years. Be very careful where you invest your money over the next 12 months. Over the past 12 months, 5 different Chinese electric car companies have declared bankruptcy. 3 legacy automakers have declared bankruptcy in China. Thousands of car dealerships in China have also declared bankruptcy. And now with this news, this is going to cause even more bankruptcies. In China, 80% of car manufacturers, 80% of EV manufacturers of the 91 in existence sell only around 100 cars every week. Their access to financing is about to go down the toilet. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Evergrande have finally gone into bankruptcy. It is official. There is no more opportunity for them to get themselves out of this hole. A court in Hong Kong has declared Evergrande is now officially bankrupt. That means investors are owed more than $330 billion. Many of those investors were from outside of China. They have been burned. Many investors of the car companies, EV companies that have gone bankrupt in the past 12 months, all 5 of them, they have been burned as well. And what this means is that companies like NIO, who continue to try to raise billions of dollars in funding, will have to look to more extreme ways to get that funding, such as going to Saudi Arabia, such as going to the Middle East, which is what NIO has been doing on a number of occasions over the last few months. It will mean more and more car companies will not get access to the funding that they need in order to stave off bankruptcy, and it's going to lead to a bloodbath. It's going to lead to many car manufacturers going down the toilet over the next 12 months. Embattled Chinese property juggernaut Evergrande plunged into liquidation years after it racked up debt in the hundreds of billions of dollars. A Hong Kong court ordered the company to go into liquidation yesterday. It comes after Evergrande was spared from the same fate in December, with the judge granting the business a 2-month extension to come up with a debt plan to pay back foreign investors. But they were unable to present a convincing enough case. Now, in the law's eyes, the company has ceased to exist. And investors, well, they've just lost hundreds of billions of dollars. Its collapse has left the fate of 1,200 projects at varying stages of completion in complete and utter ruins. In 2021, the property developer earned the unwelcome title of the world's most indebted real estate firm after getting into debt to the tune of 408 billion Australian dollars. That figure has since risen to 500 billion. It actually owes approximately 340 billion US dollars, which is, well, that makes it the most indebted company on the face of the earth. And well, now it's not even a company anymore, is it? It's now a company that is officially bankrupt. Now, here's the interesting part about this story. The second and third most indebted companies, which we officially thought were the most indebted companies in the world, but are not. Second and third on that list, Toyota in second, Volkswagen Group in third. What does that tell you? Does that not ring some sort of alarm bells? Is it not a concern that less than 1% of the vehicles that Toyota sold in 2023 were electric? Surely that has to be a serious concern. Is it not a concern that 50% of the Volkswagen Group's profits were from China in 2022? Where are those profits going to come from in the future? This has sparked China's worst ever property crisis, generating fears of a contagion effect in the property sector, but also a contagion effect in the automotive industry, in many other industries across the Chinese landscape. Many were expecting the Chinese government to step in and bail out Evergrande, and its liquidation will no doubt send shockwaves through the international community. Now, keep in mind, Evergrande has an automotive manufacturer, Evergrande Nev, and they owed many billions of dollars. In fact, Evergrande Nev lost $17 million on every single car they sold. $17 million US dollars. That is absolutely insane. They're now officially bankrupt as well. During the Monday court hearing, the judge, Justice Linda Chan, said that this isn't enough. She said the hearing has lasted for 1.5 years. The company has still not been able to bring forward a concrete restructuring proposal, and it is time for the court to say enough is enough. Provisional liquidators have now taken over. Share of Evergrande in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, shares I should say, of Evergrande in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, unsurprisingly immediately tanked on the back of this news. The company entered into a trading halt at 10:18 a.m. local time after a 20% plummet. Subsidiaries of Evergrande Property Services and Evergrande New Energy Vehicle Group, the car division, the EV division, also called for their own trading halts to stop the free fall. Analysts have weighed in with what this means for the Chinese and global economy. This is what they said. Evergrande's liquidation is a sign that China is willing to go to extreme ends to basically stop the property bubble, said Andrew Collier of Capital Research, Managing Director. People will be watching closely to see whether creditor rights are being respected, said Dan Anderson from Freshfields Bruckhaus Derringer. Whether they are respected will have long-term implications for investment into China. Now, that's a big concern here. You got to remember, a lot of the investment going into these electric car companies in China is not coming from Chinese investors. It's coming from external investors. Volkswagen Group putting in billions into XPeng, right? That didn't come from China. That came from, obviously, from Europe, from Germany. What about the other purchases that Volkswagen Group have made across different sectors of the automotive industry in China? A lot of the investments that come to the automotive industry in China, the EV investments, come from external legacy automakers. In 2021 and 2022, Evergrande lost a combined 118 billion Australian dollars, so around about 80 billion US dollars. The company reported losses of 70 billion in 2021 and around 70 billion in 2022. By the end of 2022, Evergrande's debt position rose to an incredible $310 billion. At the time, CNN noted that this amount equated to about 2% of China's entire GDP. 2% of their entire GDP, of China's entire GDP, has just gone down the toilet. This will obviously have flow-on effects to the entire Chinese, entire Chinese economy. In January last year, Evergrande chairman Hu Ka-yan has seen his wealth plummet by 95% in the wake of this crisis. He lost a staggering US $40 billion in 2 years. At the company's peak, Hu was the second richest person in Asia, according to Bloomberg Billionaires Index, which listed him as having a fortune of US $42 billion. Now, there's $3 billion left. Soon, there'll be probably virtually nothing. Obviously, creditors will want their blood. They'll be coming for that money. Every single cent he has, creditors will be going after him till the day he dies, unless something happens. And I don't see anything remarkable, miraculous happening here. I believe that basically all the investors in Evergrande here have lost their money, but they will be wanting some kind of retribution. How will this affect the EV industry? Well, clearly, access to funds, which is what companies will need more than ever in 2024 as the EV industry takes hold, as batteries become cheaper and cheaper. The CATL have said that they will reduce the price of batteries this year by 50%, making it much cheaper to manufacture EVs. Well, that means the legacy automakers, new car companies struggling in this market, will struggle to keep up. They will need funding. They will not be able to get it. More bankruptcies are on the horizon. My advice is this: do not invest in a speculative investment here. You're thinking to yourself, I'm going to get on this. I know I'm smarter than everyone else. I'm going to outsmart you. I'm going to get this new company. They're going to be the next Tesla. Be very, very careful, because companies like Lucid, companies like Fisker, they will more than likely follow. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.